Hi everyone, Steve here from RSM and welcome to the latest episode of our Coffee Conversation series. Today I'm joined by one of my colleagues, Jess Hishon. Jess has joined us relatively recently, late last year, from another one of our offices in the RSM network, and we're delighted to have her as part of the Brisbane team. So Jess, welcome.
Thank you, Steve.
Now, as you know, we had a little bit of a catch up beforehand, and this is all about a casual chat over a coffee. So what have you got in front of you?
I've got a long black today. I've had a bit of a roller coaster journey with my coffee orders over the years. Used to be a latte girl, now a long black. Health benefits of the long black. So.
Okay, I was about to ask the question, what
Yes.
inspired the change? So health benefits.
Health benefits.
Lack of dairy.
Lack of dairy. I think you can taste the coffee more as well. Get a bit more flavour through the long black.
I can understand.
So.
I've gone down the anti-dairy, not anti-dairy, I love dairy, but this is oat milk is what I kind of do.
Perfect.
Don't mind the odd long black as well.
Yeah.
So now we've got the coffees out of the way, maybe just tell us a little bit about yourself and your background.
Yeah, sure. So originally from Victoria, grew up in Ballarat, regional Victoria, moved to Melbourne for university, stayed for work, actually joined RSM as a grad back in the day. Worked with RSM for the last 13 years and been lucky enough to start as a grad and now get to the director role. Bopped around to San Diego and London for stints as well with the journey. Love to travel, so been able to incorporate a fair bit of travel in with working as well as taking time off and taking some travel experiences.
And you did a little bit of a trip just before you joined us here in Brisbane.
I did. Last year as well. Took a little career break, 6 months tripping around the globe. So
very nice.
Very tough. Nice. Someone had to do it.
Absolutely. There won't be any more of that in the foreseeable future. But no, sure.
I'm not sure about that.
I'm sure there will be.
I've got no leave, so probably right.
Well, there you are. Jess, on the no leave thing, obviously that's a segue into that work thing. So maybe tell us a little bit about your world in RSM and what you're doing and what you see at the moment.
Sure. So I'm with the audit and assurance division. I suppose my main move from Victoria to Brisbane was the opportunity in Brisbane to grow. So at the moment in my little world, there's a lot of business development opportunities that we're working on. And I think that stems from a lot of growth in Brisbane itself. So there's a lot more infrastructure work happening. We're seeing more ASX companies set up headquarters up here. And there's just a general vibe of innovation and growth going on. So we're seeing lots of new exciting clients come on board. But I suppose as an auditor, our role is to provide assurance to clients that their financial statements are true and fair. That's the technical side. The side I enjoy more is around being able to value add to clients along that journey. So, we see a lot of wide variety of clients, lots of best practice across different control processes and strategic decisions. And that's something we can bring to our clients on a daily basis. So.
I love the value add piece because, many times I've heard throughout my career, so I'm a tax person, so of course people always see me as value add. No, I'm just kidding. Well, hopefully I'm not kidding. Hopefully they do actually see that there's some value add in what I do. But tell me, in terms of the assurance side of the business, because it's assurance and advisory is the second A, but on that insurance side, on the audit side, what do you do, or how do you counter that I call it a misconception that people, and sometimes clients might look at audit as, well, it's a necessary evil and it's just something I have to do. It's a little bit like most kind of compliance activities or compliance parts of our business. But the reality is, as you know and I know, those compliance pieces can actually add real value to the business. So how do you actually, when you talk to a client or a potential client, or you're talking to somebody about, the importance or the value that you get out of an audit, how do you deal with that, countering it's just a necessary evil, you're not adding any value to me?
Yeah, great question. I think a really good example of this would be when we're working with startup entities. A lot of the time they haven't got the structure in place to have addressed technical accounting complexities around things like share-based payments or convertible notes, structuring how they disclose equity and debt type things, as well as their revenue recognition processes. So a lot of the time it's working with them to work through the technical side, look at how they can structure things going forward to get a better result, or change the way things are disclosed going forward based on different contract methods and things. And a lot of that is hands-on because they don't necessarily have the tracking schedules, the data behind things stored in an appropriate way, or controls in place to actually have reliable data as well. So there's a few steps to it to get there.
Yeah, no, well,
So-
you've certainly convinced me. So that's a big step in the right direction. One thing I'm kind of keen to hear from you too is, like, at the moment we've got well, to say that we're living in uncertain times is probably the understatement of the century. What's happening in the global stage, what's happening in the US. What are some of the challenges that you see, I guess, for our business or for our city? I mean, I agree with you. I think Brisbane's a wonderful, wonderful place to live. And I think at the moment, it's one of the best times in terms of opportunities, and I might segue to the opportunity piece in a moment. But what are some of the challenges you see for sort of businesses and the clients that you're working with at the moment, and I guess the city and the country at the moment?
Yeah. I think a lot of clients, and I think even from our side of things, there's a real issue with attracting the new generation into business. I think that's a really big focus that I'm seeing at a lot of clients, and internally here at RSM as well. So, I think that's...
Yeah, attracting talents is a hard one.
It's a really big one. Yeah. So there's that part. I think the global economy at the moment has been a little bit up and down. Interest rates have sort of hopefully now on the way down. But that's obviously put a lot of pressure on clients with their impairment testing and things over the years. So there's been a lot of large write-offs of assets and things over the past couple of years. Hopefully we're starting to see the economy stabilise a little bit, and things just sort of settle down a bit.
Yeah,
so,
I think we're all hoping with the same.
Yeah.
If we spin that kind of question from, they say every cloud has a silver lining, so we kind of spin it from what are the challenges to what are the opportunities. So obviously you've moved to Brisbane late last year. I think you've moved at an amazing time, just as we've got this incredible path in front of us to 2032 in the Olympics. And it's, I guess, a fairly significant infrastructure spend over the next few years in Brisbane as well. What are some of the opportunities you see, I guess, for our business, for yourself, for your clients over the next 5 to 7 years?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think this will impact many sectors for a start. So it's not just the infrastructure sector. There's a lot of suppliers that will have to go into doing that work or supporting those works as well. And then obviously once it's up and running, additional people to actually run the facilities. So I think we'll see a lot of people impacted by that. There'll no doubt be new technology coming through with some of those initiatives as well. So lots of areas of future development. So from a client perspective, there's lots of opportunities sort of floating through there. From a business perspective, I think, working with those clients that are directly impacted by those opportunities is key. So getting in front of them, seeing where, if they haven't seen something yet, can we alert them to, potential funding that they're eligible for or something. Along that line. So I think there's plenty of opportunity there to talk to us as advisors and get that little bit of a spin that maybe people haven't thought about. Personally, I'm loving the Brisbane lifestyle up here, and it's great to see some more infrastructure being brought up. Coming out of Melbourne, obviously big with the arts and sports side of things, so it's nice to see a little bit more opportunity to get some of those facilities in place, and hopefully make this
Fantastic.
a little bit more of a central hub for it.
Yeah, no, that's great. Well, Jess, delighted to have you on board as part of the team. I think you have joined at a really exciting time, both for us as a firm here in Brisbane. We're certainly on our growth path, and more broadly in terms of the city itself. And I think we've got some really exciting times ahead, and it's great to have you on board to sort of be part of what we're going to see over the next few years. So thanks for relocating from Melbourne and coming to the Sunshine State, where every day is a beautiful day. Well, most days, except when it's raining and clouding and we have cyclones. But apart from that, no, fantastic. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. Thank you all for tuning in, and look forward to seeing you again next time.